They say a man can lose 40% of his blood. I believe the doctor said he lost somewhere between 40 and 45%. So he lost so much blood that he should have just passed then.
It's been an hour since Glenn Dickson was attacked by a 3.5 metre bull shark off the coast of Far North Queensland. He's still alive, but only just, thanks to the incredible work of 3 mates.
What's important is it took 3 of us to do this. Everybody had a job to do, and everybody knew what their job was.
Hang in there.
Now on shore, the pressure is on paramedic Martin Taylor.
What's going on, mate? What's happened?
It's a 26-year-old male.
Alone and without backup for 30 minutes.
Had you ever seen anything like that before?
I've been to a lot of trauma before, but I've never been to an animal attack of such ferocity that could cause that type of injury.
He's got an IV into Glenn, straps bandages around his leg.
Have we got Rescue 500 online over?
And radios for the emergency helicopter to meet at a nearby sports field.
Everything's gonna be okay, all right? I'm gonna stay right here with you. Don't worry.
They lost him one time in a chopper due to that bleed that was up here. Put a 3rd tourniquet on in the chopper. And the moment they put that tourniquet on and tightened things up, his color came back. He came back to him.
How many times do you think he died?
At least 6.
6 times.
At least 6. From what I saw, at least 6.
What does this say about his character, that he kept coming
He's tough. Yeah, he's very, very tough.
4 excruciating hours after the attack, Glenn finally arrives at Cairns Base Hospital. Now the pain medication has kicked in, giving him some much-needed relief.
I was telling myself I'll survive, and then all of a sudden that song came in on my head. And I started singing it kind of in my head, and I said it quite loudly as I was coming into the hospital.
After a 2-hour drive from Mission Beach, Jessie Lee had no idea what to expect.
There was just people in the room. Like, I couldn't tell you how many people were in the room. He had things hanging out of him everywhere, and I froze. I think it was shock. I was shaking. I could barely stand, and I just looked. I didn't want to go near him. It frightened me. Really frightened me.
Anything he said to you?
Yeah, he said, he told me he would survive. He said I'll survive, and he asked me for a kiss.
Yeah, I knew I was in trouble. I wasn't sure if that kiss was going to be the last one.
In surgery, a team of 11 doctors worked on Glenn for more than 5 hours. There was no question. His right leg had to be amputated.
His surgeon came in afterwards, and her words were, "The shark has cut through his leg like a chainsaw." They had to save his life by taking his leg.
Kind of okay with that, though.
Yeah, I accepted it. It wasn't something that, you know, I just love him for who he is, not his leg, you know. If they saved his life for his leg, well, I'm just happy he's still here.
As courageously as Glenn fought, he still wasn't out of danger. He slipped in and out of a coma for 5 days and endured 3 more surgeries.
Was there ever any grief on your part for losing your leg, or did you just accept it?
Just accepted it, because I know, after being awake and knowing and remembering it all, and knowing what trouble I was in, I knew my life was more in trouble than my leg. So if I had to lose my leg for my life, I accepted that pretty quickly.
Glenn's fierce determination surprised everyone. He was discharged from hospital 5 weeks after the attack.
So relax.
Yeah.
I'm going to get you to start by tightening your tummy.
Now the arduous task of rehab and rebuilding his life has begun, with the help of physio, Catherine Parnaby.
The wounds are looking really good. They're all nearly healed. So we're now able to start the compression to reduce the size of the stump, and then we can look at casting him for the prosthetic limb, which is really good.
A once fit and active dad, Glenn wants to walk as soon as possible.
Lila, what you doing?
He's very young, he's very fit, he's very determined, because it takes a lot of effort mentally and physically to walk with an above-knee prosthesis.
Ready, Reese?
But that comes at a steep cost of more than $70,000 at a time when Glenn is also trying to support his young family. And in a cruel blow, Centrelink rejected Glenn's application for a disability pension.
And they didn't consider losing a leg a permanent disability. Somehow they must think I'm going to grow it back.
This is a kick in the guts that you really don't need.
Oh, it's kick in the guts for sure.
Hey! How's it going, boys?
Good, Glennie.
Good to see you.
Fortunately, Glenn can count on the support of his mates. Here, together, for the first time since he left hospital.
Me and the boys put our minds together and our wallets together, and we got you something hopefully you like.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. How good is that? I gotta get in.
And it's your size, which is the amazing thing. It's your size.
Wow. That is so cool.
His own wheelchair, not a rental,
Thank you so much, guys.
from mates bonded for life by an experience they'll never forget.
You must be pretty proud of the job that you did.
I'm proud of him. He's the one that hung in there for 5 hours, and you know, it took all of us to get it done. And yeah, I'm happy he's living.
Glenn, what do you think of these blokes?
I'd call them heroes. There's no other word I could come up with. You know, they saved my life. What else do you call someone that saved your life?
Although he puts on a brave front, Glenn admits he can't stop thinking about West Australian teenager Letitia Brower, who died a few weeks ago from a similar injury.
The 17-year-old was mauled, it's thought, by a great white.
Would you support a cull?
To be honest, look, I don't have a big opinion on the colour. I see myself as I jumped into their territory and I always knew the risks of what I was doing. They were here before us. So why should we have the right to come in and kill all them?
It's perspective that comes from someone who has a lot to live for.
But all will be okay, my friend.
And who dreams of one day walking his fiancée down the aisle.
We'd love to have that special day together. It'd be a really special day.
I'd probably cry more than I did about this. To finally get married and give Jessie everything she's ever wanted to, because that's important to me, to make her happy.
And with about 6 weeks left until their third child arrives, the young couple have a lot to be happy about.
Oh, tell you what, everything that I do that I took for granted, now I have a moment and I always think I'm lucky to be able to do this again. And I do that every day with my children and Jessie. So life's great.